So Netherlands defeated South Africa yesterday in Dharamshala. It is said to be as a biggest upset in the history of cricket, as Netherlands this is only their third win in the complete history of their 20 years of cricket. So it's a big upset in the World Cup 2023 also, because South Africa was seen to be as one of the strongest team in the World Cup 2023. So as per my understanding, there is something in South Africa's mind, and also the defeat that they got in the last year T20 World Cup from Netherlands, which knocked them out of the uh, T20 World Cup, has something to do with this defeat, because as we know, like last five ODIs, South Africa scored more than 300, in fact more than, sometimes more than 400 runs also. But yesterday they couldn't, just like Netherlands is not, as we know, is not a test playing nation. Although they had their set plans for everyone, they still, it's not as strong as like some of the Australian bowling lineup, or like some other that South Africa have faced in recent past. So what happened is, I think there is a game played on the field, and there is a game that is played outside the field. I think South Africa lost outside the field, because Netherlands at one point of time after 30 overs were in a very bad situation. Like when they were batting, they only had some 140 odd runs and were 7 wickets down, and like it was looking like a completely, like South Africa will run over them, and like South Africa could have reached the top of the table actually if they would have just won this match, because their run rate was already very high. So I think South Africa looked a bit timid. I think the loss last year has played some role in in the state of mind that South African players had, because I remember in that match also it was going fine until the last couple of over, where Wayne Parnell gives two sixes in the last over and they scored some 158 runs, and then they were not able to chase. Like their best batsmen were directly hitting the ball to the fielders, not able to find the gaps. So what happens in such a situation is that uh, also, like we have to give credit to Netherlands, because what happened in the match, if you closely see, like they had very good plans for all the batsmen, and they followed the plans and executed those plans very well. So even with limited resources, whatever resource they had, it they took those resources and used them very well, and they didn't deviate from their plan. What South Africa did after 140 for 7, when Rolf when de Merwe came to the crease and started counter attacking them, at that point of time South Africa were taken aback, and they didn't have any plan to come. On top of it, there was certain indiscipline in the extras and the fielding at that point of time from South Africa, which allowed the Netherlands to uh, gain momentum. And once they gain momentum, they didn't give it back to South Africa. And from there on, the game continued like that, and they followed their plans. They stuck to their plans, whereas South Africa were all over the place. Like they didn't have any plan. They thought that without plan they will just run over Netherlands. But once they scored that 240 odd in the 43 overs, at that point of time, like South Africa were taken aback, and they were thinking like how will they chase this target. And like once the spinner come on, we know like South African players have a bit for like spin. They are not too comfortable. Like in the starting, only the first 6 overs were bowled by the spinners, and they had a left-hander who is in form batsman, Quinton de Kock, and it was a soft dismissal, I would say, which he nicked, and the keeper took the catch, and it from his arm it bounced up, and the keeper took the catch. But after that, nobody took responsibility to stay there. I think players like Temba Bavuma and Aiden Markram and Rassi van der Dusen, they should have stayed there and they should have took the game deep. And in the last, basically, Henrik Klassen and David Miller role is to finish the game. So they could have finished the game. But I think the three middle order batsmen didn't take responsibility, and somehow they just threw their wicket away at the wrong time, basically, and let the pressure build up. And that is what, like, South Africa are known for. Like, they are called chokers. So but it is good that South Africa have lost this game in the beginning of the tournament and not at the end of the tournament, because it is they still have time to recover from this one. Although such a defeat can just change the momentum of the entire tournament also, because they had great momentum and they were looking to be, like, people were saying they will make the semi final, but still they can make, because the team doesn't go from good to bad in one day. So this was an off day for them, but they will have to, as we know, like, in recent past they have not been good chasers, so they have to work on that aspect of the game. Like, when they are under the pump, they will have to perform. Also, like, I think Lungi Ngidi and the other fast bowler Kotze, they are, like, not too suited for, like, when they are under pressure they stop performing, they just start bowling wide balls and all. So I think Keshav Maharaj was building pressure from one side. Also, Kagiso Rabada was bowling well, but the pressure from other bowlers was not there. I think that is what caused them those 30 extras, and, like, they were a bit haywire. Their line and lengths were not consistent. They were just bowling sometimes short and sometimes they were bowling wides, so they were not consistent. They didn't have specific plans for specific batsmen. They were just bowling some short ball. They had a plan that they'll just, and once you that plan doesn't work, you should have a backup plan. Also, with the quality of bowlers that you have, you should execute Yorkers in the end, but they didn't bowl any Yorkers in the last overs, and they let them score freely. Also, their batsmen didn't stuck to their roles actually. So the top order just got blown away, like 40 for 4. They just all of them got out, and then the lower middle order had to step up and do the job of the top order. So once that becomes very difficult for the lower order batsmen, like David Miller, Henrik Klasse and others, to play the role of the top order. So because it was a big chase, if it would have been a 160 170 chase, they could have managed it. But I think this is one of the biggest upset. I think it is bigger than Afghanistan and England, because England are already out of form and Afghanistan have some good bowlers, which actually, like, on a pitch that help them a little bit, can be very handy. So I think that was not such a big upset as this one is. Like, nobody expected this. I in my pre-match prediction, I said that South Africa will take revenge of their last year's loss against Netherlands in the T20 World Cup, but it seems it has not gone off from their mind, and it played a part. They were mentally not there actually, and like in Dharamshala, it is cold also, it has dew also, so everything was favoring South Africa, but they completely lost the plot and just lost the match. So I think they can recover. The next match of South Africa is against England. So both the teams have been on the part of the upset. So once they both play, so I think the team that wins that encounter, I think South Africa was a stronger team at this point of time. But now we cannot say, as South Africa has also lost from a associate nation, and now I don't know what will happen in that match, because once the one who wins that match, I think, will be the one who will go on to make the semi final. So yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.